It's been too long. We miss you guys. We want to see the listeners. We want to hang out and have fellowship. So we are back to putting on conferences. And the first one is happening January 29th in 2022 in Burleson, Texas. It's called Reforming Evangelism, Recovering and Restoring the Call to Preach Christ.
Now, this is not just a call to evangelize, but a call to correct both our hearts and our habits in our responsibility to preach the gospel to everyone.
I love these one-day conferences, man. These are a good time. We get to have some fun, exploring scripture together, encouraging one another, spending time together, hanging out. And these are our friends at Graceview Baptist Church that are hosting it. So this is great. Now, for them to get in on the good stuff here, they're going to have to go to doctrineanddevotion.com/SW conference, because that's like a Southwest conference.
That's right. doctrineanddevotion.com/SW conference. Now, Joe, we've got number of sessions going on. We got session 1, a better understanding of evangelism.
Yep.
Session 2, overcoming obstacles to evangelism. Then building bridges to evangelism, and finishing off with cultivating zeal for evangelism.
Of course, these are just the titles. We might totally change it all and just do something different. We just kind of make it up, right?
But make sure you're ready for January 29th over down in Burleson, Texas. Head on over to doctrineanddevotion.com/SW conference to register today.
Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast that explores Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jamie Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
So here we are.
Banking
episodes, because you're going to be gone.
I'll be gone.
And we're recording this shortly after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
How was your gathering? You went to your brother's house?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Had a great time.
In my neighborhood.
In your hood.
Did not stop by.
No.
Oh.
No. I didn't even wave.
No. Nope.
I didn't even pass and wave.
Did you pass my house?
Yeah.
Yeah, right down Ravine, huh?
Yeah. Nah. No. Well, I didn't go down Ravine.
Oh, no.
What's the road? Is that Empire?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going down Empire.
Yeah.
And then I saw Ravine.
And you're like,
I was just like, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have found me sitting outside smoking a cigar or something.
Well, no, you can't. I can't, because you're typically in the back.
No, when it's cold, yeah. When it is cold, I'm typically in the back. When it's nice, I'm in the back, unless the sun is beating down. But that's not happening because sometimes it's too hot. I can't sit in the sun.
Your head burns.
Everything, and then, but yeah. So no, you wouldn't have seen me. No, actually, I was very present at the Thanksgiving day. I didn't hide. You know
what? I'm really proud of you.
Smaller gathering this
year.
Okay. So yeah,
you didn't just hang out in the bathroom like normal.
No, I didn't hide at all. It was good. Yeah, good time, good food.
No, it was good, man. Like, so we had like a CG Thanksgiving on Tuesday.
Okay,
our community group. So we had a thing. Michelle made a fantastic turkey. Oh, I definitely went and sat like afterwards. Everyone's like in the living room, not living room, in the dining room.
In the parlor.
In the parlor, and I got up and I'm like, I'm going to go over here. And I just like went on into the living room, sat on the couch, and started to fall asleep.
Was this after you put on your gray sweatpants?
Nope. I wanted to. But no, I did the same thing over at my brother's house. I went and had some turkey, had some good food, and then went and sat on his couch and finished watching, I think it was Cowboys Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Eli and they were watching Bears Lions, of course. It's always on. And
like just trying to, I don't know what they're fighting for. Who's the worst team?
So we don't watch cable.
Yeah,
we have it in the house. We don't watch it. My dad watches it down in his apartment.
Okay.
And but Eli spent like 30 minutes talking to Comcast, trying to get it all set up so they could have it upstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then they got stuck watching that mess.
It was a horrible game. Horrible game.
I'm like, so I don't even know. I haven't been following any of it, and I'm like, so how bad is it? He goes, the team. And this is my son talking. He goes, the team's not that bad. The coach though is, it's his last. This is his last game.
Well, it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be. It was,
did it change?
It was announced, I think, Tuesday. Some report came out that he's going to be fired after the game, and then I think the ownership went and the president went, with the players and coaches said none of that's true. It's not true.
Oh, wow.
Which really shows how crappy of an ownership this is. Like they should have listen. All right, you know how they talk about lifestyle, like business owners, they only have the business to maintain a certain lifestyle, right? So it's not really about growing the business or trying to expand the business. It's just maintaining the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to because I don't really care. That's the McCaskies. They have a certain lifestyle that they're accustomed to. They don't care whether Chicago wins or loses. They don't care if the Bears thrive or die. As long as they receive and get their money, don't even care. They won't put money into what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Which is, yes, Nagy needs to go. And we need a quality line. Everything. It's just going to go through it.
Well, for all of you non-sports people, our apologies.
For what? I'm just going through it.
No,
you ask questions.
I'm curious.
This is called this is banter.
I'm curious about it because I just, I enjoy a good football game, and
I just can't wait till Chicago has a new team. They've been talking about it for years. Now that the Bears are looking to go to Arlington Heights, take over the racetrack there, like rebuild, demolish and rebuild there. They're talking about a second team coming into Chicago, taking over Soldier Field.
Yeah. Could be interesting.
I'm just going to start. I've been really debating. I might just start going for the Raiders. I mean, I've been going to Vegas before they got there.
Yeah,
it's my second home.
Why not?
Might as well. Might as well. At least I want to be with it. I want to be able to cheer for a team that's got like a winning attitude. They might not have the winning record, but they've got that winning attitude.
Yep, just play well.
Yeah,
that makes me happy. So Thanksgiving.
They're 6-5 now, right? Yeah. All right. What? Sorry, I think the Raiders are 6-5.
Oh, Raiders! I was like, that's not the Bears.
No. All right, go ahead.
So Thanksgiving, right?
Thanksgiving.
I was thinking about this. You went to your brother. Was this the first time your brother hosted Thanksgiving at his house?
At the new house.
At the new house first. Oh, so he's hosted it before, though.
Yeah. So we typically, it's either at Dustin's house or my house. And we try to flip back and forth for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if he does Christmas, I'll do Thanksgiving.
Right.
If he does Thanksgiving, I'll do Christmas.
Cool. And is he hospitable like you are? Is he kind of wired that way?
Oh, he's a lot more hospitable.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. I'm kind of like, you guys know where things are at. Just go get it.
But he likes bringing people in and taking care of them. That's cool.
He's very good at that. Very good at that.
So why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about hospitality during the holidays? Because, there's a lot of people are going to get invited over to places. A lot of people are going to have the opportunity to invite people into their life or into their home. And I think also a lot of people are, uncomfortable or nervous about hospitality because, well, maybe they feel like they've got to measure up to a certain standard that they've seen somewhere else, or maybe they think like they don't have the capacity to be hospitable. So why don't we talk about like how people should be thinking about hospitality throughout this month in particular, December?
Yeah, I like it. Let's do it.
So when we're talking about hospitality, we've talked about it on the podcast. I always say that hospitality is treating outsiders like insiders. If you look up your Bible dictionaries, basically it's receiving guests or strangers graciously and treating them, with kindness and generosity.
And speaking of which, thank you for the Perrier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got Jimmy a can of Perrier, put out there, and then he pulls out a bottle of Perrier that he carried with him. But instead of just drinking his own Perrier, he's drinking my office Perrier.
Yeah.
First of all, I hate that I have my own office Perrier. That sounds really...
Yeah, wow. You're pretty highfalutin.
I know.
Huh.
James
McDonald much?
Yeah, I know. But that little tiny can is more of an Owen can. It's a little very small because it's tiny.
Why?
Look how tiny. Like,
listen, here's the thing. I'm not even trying to set you up. I'm not even trying to set you up for these things.
I know.
Why?
These little tiny Perrier cans, So if somebody that has little tiny hands can hold this and they can feel manly. Look how big my hand looks holding this can. See? All right, so when we're talking about hospitality, what are some things that make hospitality uncomfortable for people, both as hosts and guests? What are some things that come to your mind?
Well, I think as hosts, I mean, there's the stress of I'm hoping people are going to enjoy themselves, right? So there's the stress of making sure that everything is set up right, that everything's on time, especially dinner. If you invite people over, think about like Thanksgiving dinner or things like that. You're kind of timing everything so that food is ready at the time you said it's going to be ready.
Yep.
Right. And so I think there's a bit of stress in the preparation of it.
For sure.
Getting the house in order, getting the spread laid out, making sure that, when people are coming in, it doesn't look like a tornado came through.
Right.
Because I think even though we wouldn't do it to others, we assume others would judge us.
Well, I think that principle right there is a really big one and I've heard this more from women over the years in ministry than I have from men, that, I can't bring people into the house because it's such a mess that they'll judge me. And I always ask them, well, would you judge them if you went into their house and it wasn't perfect? And they go, well, no. And
of course not.
Well, why are you thinking that they would? So either you do, and that's why you think they're going to do it to you, or you don't, but you don't think that they have the same character that you do. Or maybe you know them and they are that way.
Yeah.
But there's something there. Like there is definitely a stress associated with, I don't want people to, on the one hand, I want people to come here and have a good time. On the other hand, I don't want people to come in here and judge me for not.
So like the stress at our house is like Michelle is extremely hospitable and she loves having people over and she loves going all out. And for me, I'm like, just throw some food at them and they're going to be happy, right? Like, let's just have it. It'll look nice. I'm sure it's going to be great. Don't worry about it.
Lunchables.
But she goes above and beyond. And that's because not because she thinks people are going to judge her. That's not her feeling.
Right.
But because she's like, I want to bless and I want to I want people to leave feeling loved.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that's great. That's...
I'm putting in this effort because I'm not just throwing something together. I want you to know how valued you are to me in this.
Because there certainly are people that practice a kind of hospitality to show off, where it's about them.
That's me.
It's like, come and check out what I have done, or check out me, and then
or take a look at this tree.
Yeah. Let's talk about your tree.
What happened?
So let me ask you this.
Oh, why are you asking? What are we asking?
When you got that? Okay, is there another name for a tree when it's taller than a house, but you still try to put it in the house? Is there? I don't know the sizing of trees goes. So when you put your tree up, I'm sure you were like, man, like God's creation, so good, it smells good, it's gonna look good,
fantastic,
it's gonna be nice, you know. But did you ever have any thoughts like, that tree's better than everybody else's tree? Does that ever enter into your mind?
Did I ever have the thought this tree is better than everybody else's tree?
Yeah.
I don't think I said better.
Oh, well, what did you say? I just asked if you had the thought.
Yeah. I never said better.
Oh, so you must have said something then.
I said this is a big tree.
Oh, okay.
It's bigger.
All right. Yeah, so there wasn't any comparison. Not a lot of comparison going on.
No, because the grand room, I mean, there's only so many grand rooms out there.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to kind of compare.
Because it wouldn't be fair to compare your tree to other trees if they're not even in a grand room.
Well, that's exactly. How, apples to apples.
You got living room.
You got grand room.
You got great room, but you got grand room. Yeah, that's different.
So we sat there last night. And
by the way, look at Jimmy's Instagram. You'll see this this tree.
So it took us a while to put up, right? It took us a while to put up. And then it's got, fishing line and everything just to make sure it's secured. And I'm sitting there and looking at it and I go, Michelle, remember when we went to New York for New Year's? And we sat at that hotel? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that tree's the same size as the tree that they had in the lobby. I was like,
it's a big tree.
We have a lobby tree.
It's funny, but you do have a lobby tree. That's what it is. It's a lobby tree.
We have a lobby tree.
It's not the Rockefeller outside tree.
No.
But it's
a lobby tree.
It's a Four Seasons lobby tree. Okay. But one of the things that was helpful, because like I saw the picture of your tree and I was like, oh yeah, it's a nice tree. But then I saw scale because I see the ladder next to it with Michelle on the ladder next to it, and I was like, "Oh shoot, no, that's
dude, it was
a grand tree.
It was a lot bigger than we anticipated." Because like I'm thinking, okay, the regular a room is typically 8 foot, so I'm like,
well, yours is not. No.
But I'm like, we put the tree up, right? And Cohen, I'm looking at Cohen, his eyes are wide, right? And I go, "What's up, buddy?" He goes, It makes our room look small. The grand room is now small.
What's funny is I didn't realize how tall your ceilings were. I just haven't paid attention. And then I saw that tree in there and I'm like, I still don't see the ceiling. That's a tall tree. That is a tall tree. Yeah, it's really, but no. So my point is that, and I know that that's not what you do, but there are people out there. There are cliques out there. There are groups of people who like to put on events to make much of themselves, whereas hospitality
Yeah.
is squarely others oriented. It's about, no, I want to bless you. I want you to feel loved and cared for and welcomed and
Yes.
and to be at peace. It's supposed to be a good time. And so there are some stressors in there that, come with like, well, I want it to be good.
Yep.
What about
But then also,
Yeah.
there's other stressors, not just that I want to be good. There is the reality. There is stressful thinking on how do we deal with the children, right? How do you deal with all these kids that are running around, right? How do we keep them entertained and what's the word? Destructive.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I just only host adult parties. Kids allowed ever. No, you get around that.
Well, that's what we did because we got the community group party coming up, right? The CG Christmas party.
Oh yeah.
CG leaders Christmas party. And yeah, we just adults only.
Yeah.
Just adults only for this one.
No, but really, I mean, yeah, you sort of have to. You have to have some sort of.
You got to have a plan.
A plan, right? And now listen, if it's if the weather's nice, the doors are open, people are outside, and everything, it's a lot easier. But boy, it's like November in Northern Illinois. That's different. Everybody's going to be inside for the most part. And then, like, do you have a room? If you have a house with a room or a basement or something, then the kids can play down there. Maybe they can play some games, some video games, board games. But no matter what you do, you're signing up for a bit of chaos.
Yes,
and you have to be like, no, that's a part of it. There's going to be some measure of chaos by virtue of having kids.
Yeah.
Or dogs.
Or just people. What happened to your dog? Hold on. What'd your dog do?
No, we drugged them. And Lucy's chill, but we put Lucy and Raven upstairs and drugged Raven.
Okay.
Which didn't seem to have much of an effect.
Man, aren't you glad you guys got another pet?
Yeah, and then Kelly's little dog, she's in town, brought her little chihuahua, teacup chihuahua.
Okay.
Yeah. She drugged it. It was fine.
What'd you give it? When you say you drug it, like what do you have on hand that you're giving to the dog? To, I guess,
first of all,
it?
I feel like you're a little aggressive right now. Tone it down. I feel a little judgy. You're a little heat of judgment coming off of you.
I'm just asking,
Okay.
like, what is it like?
They're just like edibles. I don't know. The vet gives them to us. The dog eats this thing, and then it's like it chills them out.
Like you just have it on hand?
Well, we got it because Raven gets nervous and throws up and stuff. So we got it.
So Kelly's dog also has that.
Oh, yeah.
And so she brought her own.
She has her high strung. It's a Chihuahua, dude. It's like they're high strung.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think you're signing up for some chaos.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it. And you also kind of have to say like, all right, well, this is going to be a part of it, right? Because sometimes you don't, if you don't have to deal with it, then it's not an issue. But if you actually are having families over with kids, then yeah. And I would say give the kids some clear instructions, right? Like don't go into the master bedroom, right? That door is shut. If the door is shut, don't open it. The doors that are open, you can go in.
Yeah,
like, whoever you're going to.
I just lock them.
Yeah, you can lock your doors.
Yeah.
From the outside.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
is it like a skeleton key?
I can't go through how this
Okay,
works.
But yeah, I think set some parameters, but also make them feel included. Like just like engage the kids. Don't just dismiss them. And not every adult's going to be that way, but boy, just like one or two adults that talk to the kids, engage them, have fun, show them affection. Like that goes a long way for like them not acting out because they're actually feeling included.
Yep.
Unless
Unless what?
sometimes some kids are super just hungry for attention and they're going to just
Yeah. Some kids are just super disruptive and destructive.
I think another thing that another obstacle that people have to overcome is like, I can't do much. I have a real small space, so I can't have people over, or I don't have a lot of money, so I can't have people over. And I would say that that first of all, whatever size you have of a space, if the hospitality that you're practicing is bringing them into where you live or stay, that that can dictate how many people you have over. So maybe you have 2 people over. That's great.
That's
you
fine.
don't have to have more than 2 people over. You have 1 person over. Hospitality isn't more hospitality because you have more people. It's just hospitality. It is what it is. So just be, kind and generous to the people. And if you're having people over, I honestly don't think that most people would care if it is an inexpensive meal or a cheap meal versus a really expensive meal, as long as you're like giving them something that you enjoy or something that you believe that they will enjoy, they're going to be into it. Like people, this is a good time hanging out. If you're a good person to hang out with, it's not really going to matter. If you're an awkward person that can't even carry on a conversation,
you better have good food.
But you need a buffer. If you aren't a conversation person, then make sure you have somebody that is going to carry that.
There's got to be some charcuterie.
So how is that going to help a conversation?
Stuffing in their mouth.
Oh, so they don't have to talk.
No talking.
But I would say it like this: make sure you're bringing somebody in that can carry a conversation, because you're going to need somebody to.
No. So oftentimes, like when we're trying to get to know, oh man, I'm sure people, because people are going to hear about it from our church. So if I'm trying to get to know new people, and I'm like, I don't really know them that well, I don't want it awkward, I'll bring in another couple.
Yeah.
A
ringer.
Well, yes, someone with the gift of the gab.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll bring them in so that's part of it too, is like, one, they get to meet other people that are part of the church. And then two, I have someone there to help me, and I'll let them know ahead of time. Hey, I'm trying to get to know them. They're new to the church. Let's get together. And while I'm trying to set out, because oftentimes I'll do some a lot of the food
and your stuff. Yeah.
That way they're not left alone, right? And so we
just getting mean mugged by your kids.
What? Nah, my kids don't do that. They only do that to you.
Not anymore. They stopped. Well, unless they're not, they do it playfully now. They used to do it with evil intent.
Evil intent.
Their eyes.
Oh no, because they watch Lord of the Rings. They go, this one's an evil one.
No, the dwarves. Oh, I guess some of the dwarves were. I don't remember. Anyway,
so I've been reading.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So in 2022 is going to be the Amazon series for Lord of the Rings. So I've been going through. So I've been reading. I can never pronounce it. Silmarillion.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It is fantastic.
So it's supposed to be like reading this audiobook to you?
It is not an audiobook. Though I have thought to myself, could I get the audiobook and just listen to it?
That would be an easier one for me to digest as an audiobook. But
it's been good. But just throwing this out there, you definitely see Tolkien's his faith. You definitely see.
Oh, you see it in that a lot?
Oh, yes. It very much, book one is definitely a creation narrative.
Yeah.
And it's creation to fall, right? Like it's quite very symbolic, very good.
Not gonna watch it or read it or listen to it.
Cool.
Tolkien.
Why you make fun of me for things?
Listen. I just like upsetting people about Tolkien's great. He's a treasure. Everybody likes Tolkien. I just like saying that he's awful.
So I got a few books. I got the whole. I'm going to take like 2 or 3 of them with me on my trip because I got a quarantine. What if I? So I'm just going to sit there and read. This
is Doctrine and Devotion, not Fellowship of the Dorks. Okay, so let's try to stay on point.
I am short too. It could be Fellowship of the Dwarves.
It could be. We would pass as dwarves. Listen, what about this? What about hospitality? So like maybe moving away from. I got another obstacle. What about obstacles to just being a guest? Some people are nervous. Some people are socially awkward. Some people just like my son Killian is like, I'm just gonna go hang out in my room. There's a lot of people here. He'll come down like, hey, what's up? Then he'll disappear. I'm famous for like hiding out in bathrooms at parties,
and then sending photos to Steve McCoy and I.
Yeah. So you can check in. Hey, party's going great. I'll hide out in the bathroom. But so some people are socially anxious. How would you encourage them to go when invited, if at all possible?
Oh, I mean, I would encourage them to go. I think going with someone also helps because it's okay for you to have a buffer too.
Yeah.
Right. You've got someone with you, and I always try to make sure that Michelle and I have our hand signs and our signals to know, like, hey, come stand with me, or like, come pull me from this conversation.
Right.
Or like just little things that we know about each other, little looks and stuff that we know, like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Uncle Bob is over here.
But no, having someone with you and being free to be able to say, bringing someone with you to be able to help you in the midst of that.
Yeah, make you more comfortable.
But and it depends on the person. I wonder how. Is it okay? Would you ever feel comfortable telling someone that you invited you, like, I'm a little bit like, would you feel comfortable saying, like, I'm a bit nervous ahead of time to somebody? Like, I'm not really good with crowds and people. Like,
well, some people might be able to do that.
Because I think that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, if you really do have like significant social anxiety, then you can just say, listen, man, I can't do the big things because it stresses me out. So,
and I would receive that well.
Yeah. Most hosts would.
I think I'd be very shocked at a host that didn't receive that well.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, unless
it takes a special level of like idiocracy. How do you call it? Idiocracy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm making words up as I go.
Yeah, no, they would be then about themselves, not about actually practicing hospitality. And I would also tell them that, like, listen, go for your sake and go for their sake. Like, by you going and being a guest, that like you're allowing them to use their gifts, like their spiritual gifts, or you're allowing them to serve you. Like, that's a way in which you serve them. Like, it's like, you can be, this should be a mutually beneficial gathering. It's good for you. It'll be good for them. And it's the kind of thing that can really lead to stronger friendships and all of that. I think just there's ways to encourage them, but I just know that there are some people that are like, I'm down, I'm depressed, or I'm anxious, or whatever. Or sometimes we're just selfish. We're like, I just don't want to go. I don't want to go. Why want to go to that guy's house? Yeah. Like, well, listen, if the guy's asking you with good intentions, and just because you're not feeling it, well, maybe check your own heart and attitude there. Yeah. Like, you could be a good influence there.
But see, that should then be not an obstacle. Oh, yeah, maybe it is. It's an obstacle that you need to overcome as a host. That how then do you look out for those people that you could tell are kind of on the side,
right?
Not engaging, whether because people aren't engaging with them or that they're not maybe too apprehensive to engage themselves. How do you create this atmosphere or even, I guess, not theme of the night, but how do you create like these opportunities in the midst of the evening to engage everybody?
I've talked to some really hospitable people like you guys. The Warfords were always really keen on this. If they're bringing somebody over, they always have another couple there at least. Yeah. And I'm thinking like newcomers or people that they don't know. And they always tailor who they're inviting to that particular couple or family. It's like, okay, so this is going to be a good fit for them, or this is going to be a good balance, or whatever it is. They're not just randomly gathering people. They're putting a lot of thought into like, how can I bless them with even the people I'm inviting, not just with the event itself that I'm putting on. So
like in 2022, did I share this with you yet?
I don't know. You haven't told me what it is. All right. How would I know?
All right, yeah, fair. In 2022, so I'm going to be taking care of like the newcomer stuff, right? And new membership stuff. And so one of the things Michelle and I talked about was, well, I think, when people do their paperwork and they're looking, there's that pastoral interview.
Yeah.
So the thought was, instead of doing it where you meet out for coffee or something like that, we're just going to invite the family over for dinner. And then based upon their, geography, or if they're already part of a CG, inviting that CG leader, their family over.
Sure.
And that way, you're trying to kind of make that connection with another person that is geographically, or as you mentioned, sometimes you could tell by people's personality who would click and get along well, right?
Yeah. Rob even did that with the newcomers lunch. I know he used to, or he does, or whatever, but if we have people from the church, visitors, newcomers coming to our newcomers lunch, he would find out where they lived and then make sure that there are CG leaders from that area at the newcomers lunch. So, hey, there's an opportunity to meet somebody. So I think that's really good. Well, let's talk about practicing hospitality, because I think a lot of us, when we think hospitality, we think of Thanksgiving meal, or we think of a big event that's really expensive. And so, but there are different kinds of hospitality. If hospitality is just treating outsiders like insiders, right? Like blessing them, showing them love, loving your neighbor. What are some ways that people could practice hospitality this holiday season? We'll just riff on whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, I think just inviting people that might be alone for the holiday over for a meal. There are people out there that maybe, especially if you live in a college town, right? Like there might be kids that can't go home for the holiday season. Well, invite those college students over for a meal and for a game night. That'd be huge for them, right?
And it doesn't have to be on Christmas Day.
No, it doesn't have to be on Christmas Day.
But it could still be a very like holiday themed event that
Yeah.
still like really blesses them and allows them to feel a sense of the season and inclusion.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think just looking out for those people that might be typically alone during that season or just don't have other plans for that. So, yeah, I think going out of your way and opening your eyes.
I think people also can like look for ways to do this in your home, but look for ways to do it outside of your home. Hospitality doesn't only happen in your house. That might be the most maybe intimate level of it to some degree. But like, listen, if you're going to go to Christkindl Market or something that, and you're like, hey, my family and I are going down there. Would you like to come with us? We're just going to hang out, eat bratwurst, and like look at the little stands and all of that. Inviting people into another experience, right? That you are all about, something that you really like. Hey, we're going to go, downtown Geneva, do the Christmas light walk and all that. You want to come with? Like bringing them with you into that is nice because there you're not locked in a room, which for some people might feel a bit claustrophobic. But now you're moving around, you're walking, you're experiencing different things. It might be easier for some people to do that. And maybe maybe your house is in a situation where it's under repair or it's just too small, or maybe you just rent a room somewhere and like I really can't have people over. Well, you can go out with people, and that doesn't even have to be expensive. Like I said, like going for a walk through some Christmas event is something that you could do, or going to watch some carolers if there's some sort of thing going on. Our cities put on a lot of this kind of stuff around here, so there's lots of opportunities to go out of your way to bring people into your life when you're not able to bring them into your home. So I think there's opportunities like that.
No, oftentimes Michelle and I would we used to in the past quite a bit. We'd invite people to go for a movie.
Yeah.
Right. We would just say, hey, you want to go with us? We're going to go watch this movie. Anyone wants to join? We'd love for you to join. Especially when we did like young adult ministry.
Yeah.
And people would show up and then we'd go and have ice cream or coffee after. Right. It was just a great time together,
Yeah, and maybe people would say that this is not hospitality, but I view it as connected to hospitality. When you like, hey, listen, bringing somebody, you'd have to have some sort of a relationship for this to probably work. So, but anyways, I'm thinking like, wow, bringing somebody their favorite drink from Starbucks as a surprise. Like, hey man, I just know you really like these. I was stopping by Starbucks. Here you go. It's a kind gesture. It's an act of kindness or mercy or whatever. But you're treating them like they're a part of the family. You're blessing them in a way. I would do that for my wife. My wife does that for me. So wow, when I do that for somebody that maybe we don't have that kind of a relationship, that's a form of hospitality. There's like little ways to do it that aren't like total like time sucks, where it's like, oh, it's going to take a whole day to do this. Little acts can actually get you comfortable treating outsiders like insiders and bringing them into your life or into your circle of life, sphere. No, don't sing it. But I think that, there are little things that we can do as well, like the big parties, which are great if you can do that. Well, and if you're doing a big party, or if you want to do a big party, but you're like, I don't know if I could pull it off, then team up.
Oh, yeah.
Two couples can put on a party. Three couples can go, hey, we've decided to put on this party, get a little party committee together, right? Like there's ways to do it so that you don't have to shoulder the whole thing. So from small acts to big acts, I think there are going to be a lot of opportunities for you to be a guest or to take the role of host or of the hospitable Christian that demonstrates like kindness. And this is really why God commands hospitality throughout the scriptures so much, right? In the Old Testament, in the New Testament, a lot of people go to Leviticus 19. When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And it's like, this is there are implications here for how we treat, immigrants that come into the country as well, which are very good. This is how we're supposed to treat immigrants.
If they get over the wall,
legally. No, I'm just saying. So I think, there's obviously principles there. But there's also a principle here on how we treat others. And the reason we go out of our way to treat people that we don't know well and to welcome them into our church, into our lives, is because we know what it's like to be a stranger.
Yep.
We were alienated from God. We were hostile to God and his promises. We didn't love his law or his ways, and yet he sought us out anyways and brought us in and made us one of his. There is a gospel center to hospitality that should be moving us if we've experienced that kind of grace from God.
And because of that, then, we're also called in 1 Peter, right, to show hospitality to one another without grumbling, right?
Yeah.
So that it should be this act of grace, right? There should be like this overflow of how we've been received. We should be receiving others.
Yeah, we should have happy hearts about it. Mm-hmm. It's yes, it's work. Of course, it's work. If you're making dinner is work. Having guests over, cleaning up, all that, it's work. But it should be joyful work.
Yeah,
this should be something like, I'm excited to do that. And if you are grumbling in the midst of your hospitality,
it's not for you.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's not for you.
At that point, you've got to be focused on yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know how else you would grumble. Even if you're sitting there grumbling, like, oh, this isn't working out the way that I wanted, and this is not great. Like, again, like, they're fine. You wanted it to be a certain way. You wanted it to unfold perfectly. Well, that's not how things always work.
No,
or never. They never are working out perfectly, right? But your guests are fine. They're going to have a great time. You're being wrapped up in how.
Sometimes just let it, flow out into the party that it becomes.
Right. No, that absolutely. Yeah. This is events and meetings. They evolve, right?
That's
and
right.
Hopefully they're moving in a good direction.
Don't be like Robert California and lament at the parties that were missed, but embrace the party that has become.
I have no idea what that is.
Yep. I
Who's
know you
Robert
don't.
California?
Don't worry about it.
Do you know who Robert California is?
Yes, I do.
Who is Robert California?
It's from The Office. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
It's a great episode.
So much hatred.
Listen, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
All the Office nerds out there are like,
if you
rejoice!
know, you know.
Oh my gosh.
At Robert's house before he sold it.
All right. Is that the guy that's on Blacklist?
Yep.
Yeah. When he got ugly. All right.
Was he ever not? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know.
That guy was a famous, oh yeah, you're too young. He was a famous 80s heartthrob. He was
Really?
in all the teen movies. Yeah. Big time. All right. So, yeah, man. Look for opportunities to be hospitable. Look for opportunities to receive hospitality. Be grateful, and don't use the excuse like, well, I just don't want to be a bother. You're being a bother by rejecting the invitation.
Yep.
Now you're a bother.
Yep.
Now you're a pain.
Yep.
And people want to bless. Listen, I like to say, hey, don't worry about it. I'm fine over here. Somebody wants to bless you. Let them bless you. And then in that, you become a blessing to them.
Well, we'd love to get your thoughts. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter at Doc and Diva, or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast at the store, jofostore.com, and grab some gear. We got that fresh pot every Monday and Thursday. We got blog posts and video content over at the website. And we've also got that all-access exclusive content. You got Banter Truth on Tuesdays, Weekday Wisdom Monday through Friday. Head on over to doctrinedevotion.com /all-access to register today. Later.